Yo, what's up, guys? So, just want to say before I get this podcast started, um, if you want to support me and this podcast and you like vintage Nike clothing, you can go ahead and go to my IG. It's going to be the link in the description. And I have a web store. And in that web store is all the products I have for sale. So, go check that out. And I also do want to apologize for going on like a hiatus of not doing the podcast. It was just me personally as a person. We all have our own personal issues, and I was kind of going through it, So, but now I'm bouncing back, and we're getting this podcast done. And without further ado, let's get on to this podcast. Welcome to the Nike Talk podcast, where we talk about anything Nike and shit. I'm your host Felipe, aka Swoosh Preem, and today I'm with a very special guest. His name is Manny Manuel, aka Manny Rocks on IG. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
I'm honestly pretty excited to like talk to you because like a lot of your stuff is like just super old. like
Yeah,
it's like super old, and it's cool too because like what I like about you is like even though these things like they might not be wearable because they're like either super tiny or like stuff like that, you still go out and like try to collect like the old history of like Nike and all that stuff.
oh, absolutely. I mean, and there's so much of it out there.
Uh-huh.
We refer to like Nike Chronicle. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Everybody uses that as like their guiding document. But there's a ton more than that. There's so much out there, especially here in Portland. People
Yeah.
dig up these insane grails.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So this is what we're gonna do. Go ahead and just tell us more about yourself. Like, where do you live? How old are you? Like, something viewers like they might not even know about you.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, my background is, I'm 38. I'm one of the older collectors, definitely not the oldest out there, but, you know, living right here in a suburb of Portland, but I grew up about an hour east of here in a small town called Hood River, kind of a touristy town. Grew up kind of working in farms, man,
Hmm.
honestly,
Oh wow.
picking fruit and whatnot. So I had a big motivation to not do that again.
Hmm.
Growing up, watching my parents struggle with money. And so, I was telling you earlier, I went to college, got a degree in math of all things,
Yeah.
and then started teaching high school math. Did that for a couple years, and it was great. But then I got a job offer to go work in renewable energy, and I've been doing that for about 11 years now. Uh,
Wow.
just kind of trying to move up the ranks within
Hmm.
that community.
So like, what got you into like the clothing? Cause like I know from when I was like doing my research on your page and I was just scrolling like far back, and I've even asked you this. So your page has like a lot of like OG like Jordan ones on it.
Yeah,
Is
I mean,
it?
I grew up in that era, right?
Yeah.
Being 38, early 90s was really my formative year. I call 1992 the greatest year in sports in my eyes, right?
Hmm.
Um, that was the dream team year, right?
Yeah.
Jordan got his championship that year. But then there's also like Shaq and Penny. They started getting a thing going on, and at that time I couldn't afford the Nike stuff. It wasn't until I started working at 14 that I would go out and get the newest pennies. Those were my favorite shoes. I used to, truth be told, I used to fucking hate Jordan. I thought he was a dick. But his shoes were the freaking hottest thing on the market. I loved his shoes, but I gravitated more towards the penny line.
Hmm.
And so those were my favorite shoes growing up. And then later on, I slowly started stashing some. I think like Wheat 13s were one of the first shoes that I got just to collect. I think I still have them stashed somewhere. Um, and then slowly started putting together a collection, just grabbing this and grabbing that. And I got really into the sample game, which, holy shit, that'll hurt your pockets.
I can only
Um,
imagine like how much that kind of like costs to get into. Cause even right now, like I'm doing this kind of stuff and I'm spending like $100 or more on a t-shirt, and I'm just kind of tripping out because like I would have never done this if I didn't know the world of like reselling. Like, you think I'm
yeah.
me personally, I wouldn't spend that much on a t-shirt if it if the money was not if the money was coming out of my personal bank account. That's just me, you
Yeah,
know?
almost like an investment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, it's different for me because, I mean, I appreciate that aspect because it lets me get a hold of pieces, right? I got a sweet freaking Nike block tee from you, um, and so I was stoked, man. I was like, shit, the last Nike block tee like that. I mean, I have a ringer, but just a solid color tan block tee I sold.
Hmm.
And I regret it. I don't sell very often. Teddy mentioned that. He knows real well that I don't like to let go of pieces.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, it's like, hell yeah, man. If you guys are flipping this stuff, great. I'll buy into it.
Speaking of Teddy, I can only imagine how many times he hits you up for certain t-shirts.
Yeah, Teddy's thirsty, man. But if you follow his page, you see he is hunting this stuff down, man. I almost want
Oh yeah.
to ask him, damn, what are you researching or where are you looking? Because he sniffed these things out.
Yeah,
Uh,
he has a lot of the like rarest like t-shirts I've ever seen. It's pretty
yeah.
insane.
Those late 80s, early 90s summer relays and beer relays. I mean,
Yeah.
they had a whole theme, and if you know the background on that whole event, I mean, it's like they were pumping out a new shirt every weekend in the summer, right? That's why there's so many, but there's so few of each kind.
Hmm.
They were pumping them out for these employees. It was a big event, and you know, whoever's turn was to design a shirt, they put it on a shirt, and that's some controversial stuff, right? Like the beef with Reebok, with the Command
Yeah.
Force stomping the Reebok pump.
Hmm.
They're pretty blunt, but they're not going to market that in a store. Get their asses sued.
growing up in like Oregon, like so you're just like around this Nike stuff, right? Because the headquarters is not that far from you, and
Well, it's a little bit of a drive, but there's so much history because one of the cool things is I get to see a lot of the towns and the events and the runs. I have a passion for a lot of the running tees, right? A lot of those happened all around town, right? It wasn't just Portland. There was Hillsboro. I found some running tees from like Troutdale, Gresham, Mount Hood College, Portland State. Actually, I have a bin full of stuff here
oh
that I
no,
was like, well, shit, if I'm
bro,
ready to
that's
pull
so
some of that
crazy.
out.
You know what I was thinking the whole time? I
What's
thought
that?
you had a background.
No, bro, this is my backyard.
That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, it looks so like that's beautiful, man. That's crazy.
Serene, man. It's good stuff. Anyway, one of the recent tees I got, I posted
Hmm.
it, was this Portland State Vikings tee. This is
Hmm.
from Lucas. Um, you guys follow his account. Lucas digs hard, man. He's a young kid. He
Hmm.
he brings up some gems. He had a sweet Go Pre tee that he found. I really wanted it from him. I just didn't have the money for it
Yeah.
at the time. But like something like this, you get a sweet pinwheel
Yo,
tag on there.
that's like one of the cleanest pinwheel tags I've ever seen. They're
Yeah.
usually like really like washed out or you
Oh
know,
yeah, and I've got plenty of those too.
it's crazy.
Um, yeah, it was super super clean. But that's the university I went to, right? Portland State
Uh-huh.
University. With the Vikings. Who
Hmm.
was it? It was Johnny McDallion. If you guys follow him, he's got
Oh,
a lot of
I've seen
stuff.
his account. Yeah, I think I follow him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was him who was giving me shit about, screw the Vikes. His college town played them back in the day.
Mhm. Yeah, those type of tees. I love finding like shirts that have your type of like city on it, and it's a Nike shirt. I
Yeah,
think I have one. It's like a play event T-shirt, but it has like the governor's name on the back, and then it says like LA.
yeah, it makes it more personal that way.
Yeah, so I mean that's very cool that like in your area of like growing up, that it's literally in your backyard. Like I can only imagine like you could just walk down the street to someone's house and like they have like a shirt
Oh
that might have
man,
been like sponsored by Nike or something.
yeah. It's weird. I was talking to. Let me look up his name. Swoosh. I know him as Lindy Darrell,
Hmm.
and all the OG collectors know who Lindy is.
Yeah.
Um, Swoosh 262. I can never get the numbers right. But Lindy's a old school marathoner, and so he was in those events with Nike and the Backside Club. So he's got some of the super rare stuff. If you look up his account, I mean,
I'll let me pull it up. Actually, I can actually pull it up.
yeah,
Um,
there's a tee. He was telling me, yeah, dude, I just bought a tee from him. It's a Champion Blue Bar
yeah.
uh, cursive Nike swoosh. But Lindy's sitting there telling me, he's like, yeah, dude, you're getting a Grail. And if you look at his page,
How do you spell it? His page?
swoosh
Swoosh.
262.
Is it that one? Oh, okay. I think I might follow this guy. I've seen this guy's page before.
So look at that the T on the right, the one OTC run for fun.
This one right here.
Yeah, he's sitting there telling me I'm getting a Grail. I'm like, no, this is a Grail. This is a. I think it was digging for Danny found this. Look at the back of this. This isn't even a Nike tee. This is before Nike.
Oh yeah, it's Blue Ribbon Sports.
Yeah, I mean that's a Grail. That's getting at the heart of it, right? Where it all
Yeah,
started.
that's like OG. It's so cool too because when you order shoes from like sneakers app now,
Yeah,
it tells you like where it's coming from, and it's like it says like something. It says BRS like
BRS
department.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's like a little bit of like history if you guys didn't know what that meant. Blue Ribbon
yeah.
Sports.
The BRS Memphis tries to keep that history alive, and
Hmm.
I mean, if you're connected with anybody Nike, I mean, there's a ton of history within Nike, the company itself, but only accessible to the employees.
Hmm. You know what's crazy too?
So,
Like just from this whole experience, like building my page, there's probably like 4 or 5 Nike employees that follow me now.
oh, is that really?
Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing, like to like
Yeah. Well,
understand that.
and I think there's some of the newer employees feel they have to get brushed up on their Nike history like right
Mhm.
out the gate, not knowing like they can go hit up Nike DNA and go learn a ton of stuff.
Let me pull up your page right here. This is, I think, um, DJ Teddy King is just gonna come for all these. No, no, but yeah, these are crazy. This is the ringer one that you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, who is it? Broken Vintage sold that to me a long time ago, and I didn't think it was a big deal. It was kind of a cool shirt.
Yeah.
It seemed like a Grail piece, but the more I look at it, the more I appreciate how awesome that one is.
Hmm. Yeah, this one's insane too. The light bulb one right here. This is a
Yeah,
this.
that's a beer relays.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can bring it up. Maybe I pulled too much shit out. I don't know. I probably did. This guy.
That's crazy.
So the crazy thing on this one, Teddy's hit me up on this one. He knows. Um, this one's got this weird, like bubbly texture to it, where it's like foam material glued onto the tee.
Hmm.
Um, and then you get like the neon sign. We've seen neon sign that logo on other tees,
How
right?
it's so crazy.
This one's really cool. So somebody found a stash of these. I don't know how long, like 3 years ago.
Hmm.
Put them all up on eBay, and he put them up for like $40 a piece. So I was
Shit.
like, add, and purchase as fast as possible. And then he also had an Air Force One, but he jacked the price up super high for it. It was like an Air Force One jet plane as the graphic. Super super sweet.
What the hell?
Um,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
but he put the price on it so freaking high. I was like, dude, no way I can get that.
Yeah.
I let it go, and of course I regret it now.
That's insane. I know. I've been seeing that too right now. That I've been seeing a lot of crazy prices people are asking on stuff.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
so
mean, I'm not
crazy.
afraid to tell people like, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, man. I guess it's not gonna happen.
Hmm. That's what I've been trying to do too lately. Is like trying to be reasonable with the prices on some of my stuff.
Yeah, for
Just,
sure.
just like, but on the same time, I still have to make like my money on it. Get
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but I try to be reasonable and like if you guys ever like want anything in mind on my website, you can just message me and like and ask me if like I'm firm or like I can like go lower on the price. Like I don't mind you guys asking me that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
but
I usually do hit up people and say, "Hey, can you do this?" I try to not lowball, like
yeah.
that sours a relationship. But if we can meet somewhere in the middle, I think if feel like I knocked the price down, I feel like I got myself a deal. I don't know. Maybe it's a
Mhm.
mental
Now tell me about this. Are these? Is this your picture? Is this your picture? Is
thing.
like
This is my picture in my basement.
Jesus.
So truth be told, though, I don't have any of the. Well, I have some of those shoes, but I hardly have any of those anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of went through and I got kind of pissed off at the sneaker scene,
Hmm.
right? Because people were super thirsty and snaky, and it really turned me off, right? One
Yeah.
of the things I like about the vintage community is much more open, much more collaborative. There's no like beating each other out or trying to do something snaky behind the scenes.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's an element of it, but it's not near what sneakers became. And so I sold a bunch of that shit and bought my
Yeah.
wife a car.
Jeez. That's crazy because a lot of your OGs right here, they look like in super good condition, and you even have the Legend of Summer. Oh my gosh, I just saw that right there.
Yeah, those LOSs were sick, man. I could never wear them, but it's as expensive of a shoes that was.
Yeah.
And I got surprisingly, I got those super cheap.
Hmm. Oh
Uh,
damn.
yeah,
How,
I mean, and it sucks letting them go.
yeah.
They're absolute grails.
How much did you get those fragments there? Like, did you buy them before the price jump, or did you buy them like?
So they had a bit of a price jump, but yeah, no, I bought them before they really skyrocketed. And those friends and family ones with that black stamp make all the difference. They were super buttery.
Yeah. Oh, you have the one with the black stamp.
Yeah, they weren't the regular frag. I
Holy
had a different
crap.
pair of regular frags, but flipped those pretty early on.
Damn. See, I know a lot about sneakers. That's why I'm asking you this. I'm a sneakerhead
Yeah.
too, so I mean, I could chop it up all day about kicks as well.
Oh,
So,
I can too, man. I haven't gotten into a lot of these. I mean, I can talk on the shoes quite a bit.
yeah.
Maybe not as much as the newer stuff, but anything from 3-4 years ago.
Yes. For me, guys, if you guys don't know, like that sneakers is where it started for me, and it was kind of like the end of like my high school years, which I was kind of getting into the kicks. But you learn a lot, and then you learn a lot of history about it as well. And then it's funny too, like when I was coming up in the sneaker game, the shattered backboards had like dropped. And after
Yeah,
after that, like everyone just kept comparing the damn ones that were like releasing. Oh, is this shattered backboard quality? Or
yeah.
saying stuff like
They
that.
changed the game for sure, but I
Mhm.
remember the price wasn't that bad when they first dropped, but then it just kept shooting up
No, no, it wasn't. Like
thereafter.
I remember my friend, he actually got a pair, and paid. I think he paid like 350, and at the time I was like, damn, that's so expensive. But now they're like hitting for like 1200. Like
Yeah,
it's so insane.
yeah. 350 is a freaking bargain.
I know, right?
Steal if you can get them for that. I
Hmm.
think that's what I paid 300 for mine when I
Yeah.
had them, and I think I sold them for like $700 or something
Hmm.
back when I sold them.
Wow. It's yeah, man. Like this whole game, like collecting Nike, it's honestly changed. It's honestly like connected me to like so many damn people. Like
Yeah, there's a
that.
lot more there, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect like be talking to people from like New York or Oregon or like Chicago. Like it's
Yeah,
just,
or even I mean, I don't know if you follow the foreign accounts. There's a ton of if it says
oh yeah.
bundle in the name, it's likely a Malaysian account.
Hmm. And then
There's
they
some of
have
the
the
Japanese
WhatsApp.
collectors. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They have the WhatsApp. Um, or like Hatu. I think he's golly again. Hatu's one of the Japanese collectors.
Hmm.
He's the guy behind the Chronicle. He's
Hmm.
Nike Maniacs.
Nike, he's behind the Chronicle.
He's one of the main drivers behind the Chronicle book. There you go, Hatu.
Oh, it's
Super.
private.
Oh, he went private.
Went private.
Oh man. So he follows you though, huh?
He follows me. What the heck? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
Hatu is a wealth of knowledge, man. I hit him up for information because there's certain teas that you see online, and you're like, man, something feels weird about it, right?
Hmm.
Especially with some of those old Grail teas. There's one on eBay right now with a Fly Nike, and then hopefully nobody bids on it,
Hmm.
because there's something weird about it. I hit up Hot2. I'm like, hey, what's your take on this? It feels fake. Like there's something about the graphic that
Is that the
that isn't
one? I think
one
the,
that's all stained up. No, no, the one that Three Word Thrifts that Grant had was the Prefontaine shoe.
oh, okay. I thought it was the Fly Nike one, but it's similar to that, right? But then it has
Yeah,
like
yeah. And so talking to Hatu, I mean, he's a little more connected to Malaysia, and he's sitting there telling me like, dude, the Malaysian or not Malaysian, the Thailand is getting really, really smart in putting out some of these fake shirts where they're putting them on authentic '70s tees, right?
hmm
Screen printing it, roughing it up, making it look vintage, but then the graphic is wrong, right? They're using an updated graphic. Um, or something that was recreated somewhere else. It's freaking wild, man.
yeah, it's pretty insane. Like I remember when I first got into this, like I think the main place where a lot of those fakes come out of is on that app Etsy, pretty much.
Yeah, Etsy has a lot
Mhm.
of stuff.
Mhm.
If you go to some of the Japanese, like Yahoo auctions,
Yeah.
some of the Japanese selling places that gives some of the collectors ideas of where to look.
Hmm.
There's some gems out there, but I've started to see a lot more fakes,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
It is because there's some people that they pay like they'll pay a lot of money for this, and if you're not getting the real thing, it's kind of like it's messed up. You're pretty much stealing from someone.
Yeah, I mean it is
Yeah.
fucked up, right? Or you see some of those fakes that somebody will just throw at Goodwill, and then somebody picks it up thinking they got a Grail. Like there was a rash of geisha teas that were coming out that
Mhm.
that were that looked legit, but something was off on them, and I started studying that one really close, just the fine details of the print, and
Mhm.
it becomes a lot easier to tell the fake ones now.
Yeah.
Just like with sneakers, right? You start finding these certain things that are
There's like
common
some
among
some
fakes.
peaks.
Yeah,
Like
the
yeah.
peaks or the stitch lines, or you see a stitch line that's fucking a bumpy road when it's supposed to be straight. Like the Jordan 4s under the wing, follow that stitch line. I mean,
Yeah.
even today, like I get at least once a week somebody hitting me up for a Jordan 4 legit check, right? For the organs.
Damn. That's good. You've had the organs, the
Yeah, I
Oregon
had
Jordan 4?
the organs I'm a small guy size, right? They were in a size 7.5.
Oh wow.
And
Damn.
those Oregon 4s are, I mean,
You
they
find
made
them
a
like
lot
in
of
the
them, right?
big sizes because they give them to the players.
Yeah, it was football players,
Yeah.
or sorry, basketball players, wasn't it?
Hmm. I think
And
so. Yeah.
but they also gave some to staff, and so they had some small sizes out there, and I was able to get a pair there. And so there's little details that you start looking after, but some of the fakes are getting good, man. It's scary.
Yeah. Sometimes like I do get those messages too, and I just tell them like just go with like um just common sense on things. If it's too good to be true, like just
Yeah,
don't.
dude, you're getting an Oregon 4 for $800. Good luck with that, right?
Yeah. I remember some guy messaged me like, and it wasn't even like a vintage item. It's just like Nike in general. It's just like a pair of like Jumpman like Don C shorts.
Yeah.
And he showed me a picture of the Jumpman on the side, and I was like, yo, that food's been eating like too much because
He's got a
it's
gut, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
So
seen those. Those are the really fake ones.
mhm,
They come in the mail, and I've had some friends that get those too, and
mhm,
like, yeah, man, I got these fire red threes for like $150. I'm like,
mhm,
how? Where? Well, this one website, and they come, and it feels like a piece of cardboard,
yeah.
just flimsy as shit.
Now let me ask you this: do you try to source like thrifting wise too, like to try to get your Nike as well, like,
I
or is it?
hit up places because I travel quite a bit among the Northwest.
Hmm.
I have a coverage area of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and when I'm not traveling, I work at home.
Yeah.
So when I'm at home, I'll be digging online quite a bit.
Hmm.
I try to not compete with the locals here on the thrift scene. Just for the most part, I don't have time. I've got two little kids. Well, I say little. One of them's 13, the other one's 6.
Yeah.
um, and they keep me pretty occupied. So, but if I'm traveling, I'll try to hit up a Goodwill or some thrift store in the town that
Mhm.
I'm in. Often small towns, but honestly, it hasn't been super fruitful. And the other side is like I'm just picky about what I want. I want the old Nike stuff, right? And if it's like a Nike or a '90s tee,
Yeah.
I'll let it sit there for the next person.
Let me Oh, there it is. I was like, your face, it kind of froze like right
Oh,
now. No, but there, you're good now. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's all I wanted to ask. Like, if you just source, but yeah, I understand. Cause like, I preach, I kind of preach this and tell people on the Instagram, like, I'm just a normal person like you guys. I have priorities other than this stuff. It's just,
yeah.
I, I'm trying to put more time into this, make it into a little bit side something, you know? But
Yeah, I mean, and who else is doing any kind of vlog on vintage, right? You see very few. I think Camille has some videos on
yeah.
his vintage apparel, but there's not much in terms of any kind of podcast out there.
Yeah.
So you're at an opportune moment hitting
Hmm.
that pretty early on.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, man. Like, I appreciate that because, like, when I first started this, it was just like an idea, and like I told Nico Hype Preems, I was just like, "Yo, let's like, would you be my first like participant on this?" And it was just like we just went at it
Roll
and
with it,
just
man.
yeah, we just went at it and talked.
And honestly, I've watched the series that you've put out, and it seems like every one of them gets a little bit better, and you can tell you tidied up some stuff, and so they've been. I don't want to say they weren't entertained because they were, right?
Yeah.
But as far as production value, they got better every time. And that was really cool to see.
Oh yeah, like the first one, I remember I was like using this app on my phone, and the app on my phone was actually like very choppy, like the
Yeah,
first one, and I was like, dang, I need to like try to fix this up, and like try to make it a little bit more better. And then I just went with the whole like face cam type of thing,
yeah, yeah.
and
I mean, it's
that's
pretty easy
mhm.
to run with.
And then shout out Danny, digging with Danny, because on that podcast when I did a podcast with him, he pretty much um changed my like look on like how to go about this because he was talking
Yeah.
about how Drew Heifetz or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, he he's been in the game for a while and he's like pretty much showing his face and like stuff like that and associating like a face with the products,
Yeah.
stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. And that's what I've been trying to do, man. Like honestly, like that's what I've been trying to do. And it's honestly I've seen like the the effect that it has. That's why you see a lot of the accounts very successful that do have like some type of like
Person
facial,
behind them, right?
yeah, facial like interaction with like the people, like their audience. Um, it's pretty crazy. I think this week was like one of those weeks where like I got like some type of like support and people were telling me certain things that like I wouldn't think someone would tell me that, like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
get
That's
like
awesome.
yeah, so I mean I do encourage people to like show their faces and stuff and like, try to connect to people if they want to do that. It's at the end of the day, it's like we're all human beings and, this is just like the community of vintage
I mean,
clothing.
it's a fucking awesome hobby,
Yeah, it is
right?
an awesome hobby. It's kind of funny too. Like I try to like talk about it like with my personal family and they
Yeah.
just don't understand it. It's so funny.
Yeah, dude. My parents just like, Mijo, ¿ahí andas con tus pendejadas? Like, yeah, yeah, still.
Yeah, I hear that
So
from
it
my
is whatever, right?
I hear that
Like,
from my grandma. Like she just doesn't understand that stuff, and my mom kind of like she explains it to her. She'll be like, pinchy, like
yeah,
like
but I found that fathers kind of get it. They hold on to that nostalgia, right? Because they may have other pieces that are nostalgic to them.
yeah,
Um, so like my dad gets it. He doesn't necessarily. It's not his thing, right? But
yeah,
he gets it. Where my mom's just like, no, mijo, estás pendejo.
Yeah, I mean, um, my dad, he gets it, but he's like he doesn't understand it because like all the stuff that like I'm getting was pretty much like stuff he grew up with, and like back then they just tossed it, like
Yeah, or you're getting it at a thrift, and they're like, oh,
yeah.
mijo,
So
poner pulgas.
I I remember like my dad, like I pretty much like I gave him like a birthday gift, and like he liked it like so much, and he didn't think it was gonna be anything. Like I bought him because he's a Dodger fan, so
Yeah.
I bought him like a World Series cap from like 1981.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, what the hell?" Like like he just didn't expect that. Like
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, mid '80s had that whole Fernando Valenzuela
yeah,
era that was
he-
huge. I mean, he came in by like a storm.
yeah. He's a big Fernie fan too.
Yeah.
Um, I remember I'm a big Fernie fan as well. I just he's put like Mexicans on the map for baseball, pitching, stuff
Oh,
like that.
huge. Did you catch that 30 for 30?
No, I didn't.
ESPN has a little like hour long little bio on the whole Fernando Nation.
Oh yeah.
How he came in like a
Oh,
storm,
oh.
and this is a guy who was playing ball in a like dirt field.
You know what? I think I might have seen it because they talk about like him having like the Spanish like broadcasting for
Yeah,
like yeah, so he does the broadcasting for the game in Spanish
yeah.
on the radio. So yeah, I mean, I even went to the LA County Fair and like I got inspired to like have an artist like do an airbrush T-shirt for me.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah, and I have it on my other IG because I have another IG that pretty much I just sell regular vintage on it.
Yeah.
Nothing like really Nike, but I have a picture right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Um,
But that
it's
opens up even another sector of vintage, right? Is all these other things that were going on, right? I'm a big fan of band tees. I post them once in a
mhm.
while. Yeah, that's sick.
I got him to do this. Like I pretty much like got a picture of him and like I told him like let's do it like this, like big bobblehead type
Yeah,
of vibe. Like how they do it on like those
on the
t-shirt.
caricatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had him do this and that's the back of it. So big back hit and then that's the front hit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was so pumped. Because I was going to Dodger games like probably like every couple months.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you pick some of the other vintage stuff outside of Nike to keep, or do you strictly
So
do it to support the Nike habit?
that's a very good question. Like a very good question because I explain that to people too, like what I try to do. So what I do is I'll sell like because I'm not really into the like regular vintage stuff like
Yeah.
that. Just certain things maybe, but for the most part, like I'll just go into like thrift stores and like do my thing and then you know flip it on Depop or Macari or Grailed,
Yeah.
whatever. And then that money I reinvested into like a Nike piece or Nike pieces, and I just that's how it was going about like at first. Now,
Gotcha.
yeah, now like I mean, um, I'm pretty much selling my Nike pieces to buy more Nike pieces.
Yeah.
Like, like
And you're starting to sell those pretty quick. I mean, you may look at your prices like,
yeah,
wow, that was almost a little too quick.
yeah. I try to be fair too, because like for me, it's not like about making the most money out of it.
Yeah.
It's like if I tell this to my one of my like best friends like of like what I'm trying to do, and he's like, oh, it's a pretty good idea, and he's a business major, marketing major.
Yeah.
He's like, I made an Excel spreadsheet. Do you need it, fam? And I'm like, because he's into like reselling the vintage stuff, and he resells on my page thrift premium as well.
Sure.
But what he does is like he goes in and like he's very technical and like everything he sells he
Yeah.
marks it down like on a spreadsheet.
So he's trying to like get into analytics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he tells me he's
Wow.
like, how do you know how much you're making, man? Like what's your problem? Like and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't even care. Like I mean, I know I'm making the money on it. I'm not losing money. Like it's just
Exactly.
yeah, it's just a hobby. Like I don't.
But it's a different mindset, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's very like technical with it, and yeah. But the main thing is like I do source regular vintage to reinvest it into like vintage Nike pieces. Hmm.
Gotcha. Has that also helped you brush up on your knowledge, like what
Oh
to look
yeah,
for when you're out?
oh yeah. I mean, I've passed on banties that I didn't even know about. Like, and I
Oh
was just like,
no.
I passed on like a Oingo Boingo banty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I just like passed on it. I didn't know what it was, and then one of my local like friends, actually, he's my friend that we do Rose Bowl together. Like, cause I was starting to do Rose Bowl and sell at the Rose Bowl. Um, and he came up on the tee that I freaking left there, and then I was
yeah,
like, oh man, like I left that there, and he's like, oh yeah, like I copped it. It's like a band tee. It goes for like
yeah.
60 to like $80. I'm just like, but yeah, man. That's what I do. I mean, it's just side money. I mean, I got my own stuffs. Pretty much like in the real world of the 9 to 5ers. Let me see what else I got here for you.
So with your job offer, are you going to be starting to move towards a 9 to 5? Or are you going to try and continue thrifting?
You know what? It's not a. It won't be like a 9 to 5. It would actually be um like a part-time thing. I believe so because it's like kind of like a gradual like buildup of hours because it's a lot of training I have to do,
Yeah,
like a lot of training. And I was interning for the same type of like position that I just got hired for.
yeah,
But yeah, I also kind of do touch upon this as well, like because what I study is pretty much like human behaviors and why do we do things, and a lot of the principles that I've learned throughout like school and all that I kind of applied to like like resale page to Supreme or whatever, or even with the audience. Because if you have like the knowledge of like ABA, applied behavior analysis, there's a lot of things you can do to like help like build your online presence and your online audience. Like,
yeah. Kind of playing off of the audience.
yeah, so I mean, I'm actually writing up like a little thing about it, and I might share it to people that are kind of interested in that type of realm. But yeah, I mean, I try to be consistent, and then a lot of the things I do is like I try to make like the magnitude of a lot of things like kind of big and rewarding to people. But
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's very technical, but I love that type of
for
stuff,
sure.
type of
So
science.
Felipe, a weird question is, so through your collecting, have you ever started collecting like a line of things? I mean, we all get into our little niches, right? You
Yeah.
ever done that, and then it's evolved to the next thing and the next thing? You look back and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking?
um well, yeah, I mean, I've had those type of things. Like, I mean, I would go and like collect like it wouldn't even be like, just shirts in general. Like, I'm a big like nerd on like video games. Like,
Yeah,
big nerd on video games and big like on like old school like Nintendo stuff, and like I was buying a lot of like 64 games and
yeah.
then a lot of them were like just like, dang, this is like it's so ass the game. Like I had it.
It is, but it isn't, right? I mean, I grew up with
Yeah.
an NES, right? So
Mhm.
playing Contra, playing Tyson's Punch Out,
Yeah.
you play it, and then I find myself like an hour in, I'm like, fuck, man, I keep
Mhm.
losing at the same place. I suck at this game, and I
I,
won't play it. But then
uh,
I want to bring it back a year later or 2 years later and get back into it.
mhm. Let me tell you this, like I think I had one of those moments too, is like when the whole like boost wave was going down,
Oh yeah,
and then right when like pretty much like I sold off like all my boosts out, like my Adidas, I was just like, what was I doing? Like those things are like they're low key ugly, but they're comfortable. Like they're really comfortable. But it's like I found more enjoyment like getting the Jordan 1 like than like an Ultra Boost or something.
yeah.
And that's my thing. I love Jordan 1s. Like I have like probably
Oh,
like
it's the best looking one
yeah,
Jordan shoe out there.
yeah. I probably have like 16 pairs of like Jordan ones, and like it's I like the OG colors. There's some colors that I have that are like obscure. Like
Yeah,
I was supposed to graduate with the um those European exclusive like the yellow and black like ones, the yellow ochre. Let
yeah,
me,
yeah,
you know which ones I'm talking about?
yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to graduate in those because those are my school colors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, I was trying to like, I had bought them like a while ago, and that too. Have you ever been to like a sneaker con?
Not to sneaker con, just some of the limited sneaker events in Portland or
Okay,
Seattle.
so you've been to like a sneaker event, pretty much. You know
Yeah.
how it works, then.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's just a bunch of tables, and you just show up, and like people buy, sell, like trade. I
Yeah,
remember
absolutely.
when
I think it was
the
me and Gear Soul Goods
mhm,
uh, have set up tables several times, just
mhm.
putting up displays. And I mean, there's a couple sneaker events where like me and Gear Soul Goods had three tables. We had two tables for displays and in visual only, and then one table to sell a thing or two and hopefully recoup the $100 we had to pay for those tables.
Yeah. Um, I remember when I probably went to like two or three sneaker cons, and one of them was when I think about a week before the off white was the off white Nike Prestos, the all black pair.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
when
dropped
they
on.
had the series of off-white releases throughout the day, right?
Yeah, the black pair, all black pair dropped, and I was actually able to get them on the sneakers app.
What?
Yes, I've had so much luck on the sneaker app, but it's like it's weird. Like there'll be like months I don't even hit. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and that's why I steer clear. I haven't even gone on the sneakers app
yeah.
lately. But I think the only time I actually hit something was either on some of the stuff that was like, okay, it's a dud, but I still thought it was cool, like Cyber Monday Jordan ones. But then I did hit on the off-white Vapor Maxes at one point.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
the white ones, which it's a white shoe, man. I'm not gonna wear that and keep it white. It's gonna get dirtier in hell.
Hmm. Yeah, those. I mean, some off whites are cool. It's just I don't really like wear them like that. And then plus two, like a presto on my foot, like the side of my foot's gonna be like coming out of that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have a wide foot, so then it's pretty much I can't really do that. So what I did was like I kind of like traded for those Prestos, and then I got those like yellow ones, but then I got cash on top still.
Oh, okay.
So I was like,
Nice.
damn, this is dope. You know, like I got pretty much like almost a free shoe, and yeah, that's that. Um, let's see. There's a. I'm trying to log into my sneakers. I kind of want to show this. I just want to show my like cops. Let's see where is that. Mm, maybe I could show you on my phone real quick because that's the easiest thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember my first pair of 85s. Let's talk about that. We'll talk about the 85s, and then
Yeah.
we'll go into like your top three because I want to see your top three. Ooh,
Top three
t-shirts.
Jordans. Oh
T-shirts,
man, all the
t-shirts.
ones I don't have.
Let's see. I think when I first started my pages, there was like one thing that like kind of got me into more like the vintage thing,
Yeah.
and it was when I went to round two, and when I had went to round two, I took two pairs of Yeezy 700 Wave Runners,
Yeah.
the first release. You know how the first release they were kind of going for pretty high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I went to round two, and I saw these like Jordans just chilling right there on the bottom. Like, have you ever been to round two?
No, no, I haven't.
Okay, so like there's like a sneaker wall, and then there's like a bottom sneaker. Like on the bottom, it's just a bunch of random kicks. Like
Yeah.
they're not even like organized. It's just like a bunch of random kicks. And I was like, "What is this?" So I picked it up. I was like, "Damn, these are like the OGs. Like I never seen them before.
Yeah.
like in person. Like you
They're
know,
tanks, huh?
hell yeah." So I was looking at them. I was like, "What the heck?" Like you know, and they were my size, and I was like, "Should I try these on?" and then I asked the guy like, "Yo, can I try these on?" And then he got the other pair, and like that's the first time I noticed like how like narrow Jordan One OGs are, because it could be pretty like they're more narrow than the ones they released now, the sole.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, quite a
So,
bit.
so I kind of had to get used to like that aspect of it, because I was already rocking like the retros, and like I kind of got the feel of it.
Yeah.
I walked out of round two with a pair of OG bread ones. Let me,
Oh yes.
yeah. So I walked out of round two with a pair of OG bread ones. There they are. Guess how
How are the
much?
collars? Were they crusty or were they still pretty soft?
Nah, they were pretty soft. I mean, just the top part, but the like more inside, like there was like actually like good padding still.
Yeah, yeah. It hadn't like gotten like what is that, like dusty and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, like you know how like sometimes the little like crust comes out of the side of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that sucks. That's when you know the shoe is dead, man.
I remember I walked out with these. Guess how much they had them priced for? And
I
they
don't
were
know,
pretty.
500 bucks.
Yeah, it was like 500,
Yeah,
and I
it's
was like,
not
guess
500 anymore, man.
I know, right? Like me and Camille, we talk about this all the time. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Like
I don't know.
just
I think right now it's the Last Dance happened.
mhm.
The demand went up, and so people are like, "Fuck yeah, go ahead and pay those prices." Those prices are going to come back down, man. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to downplay the OGs, but like the OG colorways,
Hmm.
there's still a lot of pairs, right? There's a lot of bread ones, there's a lot of Chicago ones, and a lot of neutral grays,
Hmm.
and even a lot of royal blues, right? But you start to get into the like the metallic series.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you
you know,
got the burgundy, the orange, the green.
yeah,
Like there's so
yeah, and those are
many.
hard to find. Like
Hell
getting a
yeah.
burgundy color, good luck, man.
Yeah, the burgundy might be the rarest metallic, isn't it? Is it the burgundy or is it the black
Burgundy
one?
or black? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, that's
I mean,
yeah,
outside of like the prototype sample stuff that's out there,
yeah.
do you follow Doctor Funk? Doctor Funk's something.
I think I know his page. Let me see.
It's Chad Little. He used to be a designer at Jordan Brand, but he's
Dr. Funkenberry?
no, Doctor Funk's Gallery, I think it was. Doctor spelled out, not Dr.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, there
there
it
he
is.
is. So yeah, Chad fucking pulled out a gem. Click on that first, the one on the right.
This Jordan right here?
Yeah, he pulled out an absolute gem from his. I mean, he's a vintage guy. He collects all sorts of vintage. And scroll
Hmm.
across those pictures, man. These are original 1985 prototypes.
Yeah, and
He pulled that out.
they
Like,
have the soul of the two on it.
yeah, I mean,
Crazy.
nobody has that.
Yeah,
Nobody has them in that condition. I think there's one collector that has them, and the sole's like obliterated. It's just a pile of dust.
that's
But to have
insane.
those in a box, fuck,
Yeah.
those are insane.
Were these for MJ? Because I know they're 13. And
Yeah,
okay, yeah. If you guys don't know this, and I know that I kind of learned it. It was Michael Jordan has a size 13 foot, but on one of the foots, it's always a 13 and a half.
yep,
Yeah. So just a little info on that one. There,
yeah. So
there,
I mean,
there's the goat right there.
there he is, and that's Chad right behind him.
Oh, you know what? Does he? I might have seen him on like maybe a complex thing.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the mustache is kind of
Yeah, Chad's the man, man.
familiar.
He's I remember I went with Gear Sold Goods. Went to Chad's house, and this fucking guy like has half his house and a well at the time, right? Half his
Yeah.
house and a garage parking port
Hmm.
full of vintage. There's no cars in this thing. It's just full of vintage and
Oh my
sneakers.
gosh.
I mean, he's got so much stuff stashed. I mean, we didn't have enough time to dig through it, but it was like
Yeah,
being in a freaking candy store. It was insane.
that's so crazy. Yeah, man. Freaking Jordan 1 history is insane. Like
Yeah.
even like um like this photo right here where he's wearing the black toes. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen the black toes with the black tongue?
No,
You never seen the you never seen that?
I don't recall seeing them. Maybe if the
So
picture was in front of me, I'd recognize
if
it. I forget shit all the time.
you go to, like on the, when you get a pair of like 85s like brand new and it has the tag on it, and
Yeah.
it has like pretty much like this image right here.
Oh yeah.
Um, so pretty much the pair that he's wearing, it doesn't have a white tongue, it has a black tongue.
Is that
But
the one that also says Air Jordan but no wings logo on the side?
it might have been that one, but let me see if I can
It's the
maybe.
one where he's standing. He has them laced over his shoulder.
Yeah, it might be that one. Jordan 1 black toe, black tongue. Let's see. Like people, it looks like this.
Oh man,
Have
those
you
are
ever
sick.
have you ever seen that?
I don't know that I ever drew into that detail, even if they were
No, it's a real thing. Like
across.
his picture of like on that little like insert,
Yeah,
his black toes don't have the white tongue. It has a black tongue.
I don't think I ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Jesus, learn something new every day.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, right? But they're pretty fire though.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
this too, I think I've seen maybe on a complex video, some guy was showing like his sneaker collection. So the difference on this pair is actually right here. Do you see like there's no hole right here
Mm-hmm.
on that little, like on all the other pairs, there's a hole right there. So if I
On
go,
the curve.
yeah, so if I go like right here, there's a hole right there.
Yeah.
So like that's just like one of those like unique pairs that maybe one day will get retroed. You never know.
These look a little bit higher on the ankle too, don't
Mm-hmm.
they?
Yeah,
That's
he played in like mids, kind of.
exactly.
Yeah,
But I mean, I know the original Air Jordan 1 was a little bit of a higher cut in general, but these look a little higher than that even.
yeah, pretty insane, man. I mean, I've.
Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of details that I get super intrigued with.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do now. Tell me about your top 3 shirts ever that you
Oh
either
man.
own or like you wanna own or.
Well, I mean, there's a ton that I want to own that are like it seems like they're unobtainable,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're the early '70s. Most of the stuff I have is going to be like mid to late '70s at best. You
Mm-hmm.
know, most of it is like '77 and beyond. You know, anything later than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did post a top 5 at one point. Then I posted like 5 other top 5 themed things, but I think that they'll be in there. Um,
Is it this one?
see, no, down.
Just tell me when.
Okay, stop.
Okay.
So if you go to the one with Priest Trail Run on the left side, right above the lynch mob tee, down
This one?
that one. So I mean, if I had to pick 3 from there,
Yeah.
it would probably be that the Priest Trail Run 1977 on the lower right, the Backside Club, because
Uh-huh.
it's an insane graphic, and that's a late '70s tee, and it's like brand new, never even been washed.
Damn.
There's an Oregon thrifter that picked it. And then the '86 beer relays, where instead of a baton, they're passing along a beer. Like I've never seen that graphic, and actually, I have it somewhere here.
Yeah.
The crazy thing on that shirt, dude, is the
You're gonna
the
pull it
back of
out?
it makes no sense.
You want me to, let me switch the camera to you so you can just show it.
Yeah.
There it
So
is.
let me pull this one out of the bag. I got this also from a local thrifter. I think it's Vintage Stoner. Picked it a long time ago, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's handing off the beer, but
Yeah.
then the back is like a yearbook.
What the hell?
It's class of '86, and you see a bunch of people's faces on there.
And those are real people. Like, and does
Yeah, it
it says their name
has
too,
their names and everything on there.
but it says screen print of '86. Maybe it was like a test run or something. I don't
Could have
know.
been,
Like,
or you know, I really should have looked up who these people are, because there's like Delray Blackburn, right? Steve Brown.
Hmm.
I need to figure out who these folks are. Maybe they worked at Nike at one point.
Yeah, maybe you can look them up and like they maybe own. That's one of their shirts that you've
Yeah.
found.
Well, and it's crazy because I've never seen this shirt anywhere.
Mm.
But as soon as I saw it, I was like, dude, that thing's sweet.
That's
Anything with Nike and beer on it somehow just draws the eye.
oh yeah. I mean, what kind of companies used to? I mean, I guess it was more acceptable back then
Yeah,
to be doing
absolutely.
that kind of stuff, but now, like they don't want to be promoting alcohol.
I
Like,
don't know, man. This whole distance work is kind of kicked off the day drinking. Um, I keep
right,
hearing
right.
about that. Folks are just getting trashed during the day. It's crazy. But even like once a week, I have a happy hour with coworkers,
Yeah.
and most of them are on the East Coast. They're
Mm.
3 hour time difference, so
Yeah.
for me, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. They're like, "Hey, it's time to have our virtual beer."
Yeah,
But
I've
I mean,
seen I've seen a lot of day drinking too, man. Like I would be scrolling on my Snapchat or my Instagram and it's just the middle of the day and there's a tequila bottle out or
yeah,
something.
like these motherfuckers got problems.
But yeah, yeah, I could appreciate like the people that are really appreciative of like the older Nike like this.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Mm.
You know what? And I totally skip it. Go to see the middle picture on that top row there? Yeah, that one. That Nike country tee is, to me, is one of the most iconic images for the early like Nike ACG, like the buildup of it, right?
Yeah.
Because you start with like Hike Nike, and everybody knows the Hike Nike guy. That
Oh
image is
yeah.
everywhere, and people are thirsty for it.
Mhm.
Um, but this one, I mean, you don't see as many of it, but it's an iconic image of Nike getting into the outdoors.
Yeah.
And then the ACG line starts coming out, and I mean, what do they say? Alcohol, cocaine, and guns, right?
Jeez.
The whole ACG urban jungle stuff, like
Mhm.
it's insane. Like it
Yeah.
created this huge movement.
Mhm. Urban Jungle is one of my favorite things. I just sold my jacket that I had. I sold it on that virtual flea with 1980 something co.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I had it up because I won it in a raffle, so I wasn't like really minding like letting it go for like a super steal.
yeah.
And it was kind of like had some blemishes on it. Actually, Jack from Nike Teaser the shit like just came in and like pretty much bid it for it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he
he's got a stash too, man.
oh yeah, he has a stash. He's been sourcing for a while. I
Oh
I
yeah,
remember I remember seeing his page before I was even in the vintage game, and I was just like, "What is this?"
yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
it's insane, and he's pretty well connected in the community too. So he
Oh
picks
yeah.
up some awesome pieces.
Mhm. That's crazy. But yeah, I could appreciate that. Do you have a hike Nike in your collection?
I do, but not on me. I don't know if you follow a page called The Culture PDX.
The culture.
It's my buddy Tanner.
The
Um,
culture PDX.
yep.
Mhm.
So Tanner curates a lot of stuff. I mean, he's got a taste for more of the tactile side of things with the later ACG line, a lot of synthetics, performance gear.
Yeah.
I'm more of the early stuff, but when he first opened up his shop, he opened up a shop in downtown Portland that was dedicated to Nike vintage.
Mhm.
Um, it was at the building at the Tiffany Center, and it was sick, man. So he's got a whole thing on Hike Nike, um, and so I do have my gray. I sold a tan one.
And you
Uh,
have the original. Do you have the original one like from the
no, I've
70s?
never had the actual T-shirt.
Yeah.
So the original, I think it's pictured there. He's got the pair of Cortez on
Yeah, it's this one right here
the
in the
bottom
corner.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I own the gray one, and I'm in with Tanner on the yellow one. Um,
Yeah.
it's ours, we'll say. Um, and those aren't going anywhere. They were part of the shop. They were part of the
Mhm.
display. I mean, one of the rooms at his shop was strictly ACG line, and it was such a good looking room because he had the rugged tables, he had the performance gear, he had the hiking shoes. I mean, the way it was themed was pretty phenomenal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that collecting is crazy. Like, I mean, because these shirts are worth like a good amount of money, you know,
It,
and
they're
it's
worth a good chunk. Yeah, they've gone
yeah,
up certainly in the last couple of years. If you
it,
scroll back up,
uh-huh.
um, there's something crazy that happened. I'll go to that hike Nike pick.
This one right here.
Yeah. So on the upper left,
Uh-huh.
that's a hike Nike hoodie printed on a Jordan sportswear uh,
Uh,
hoodie. Like it was wild, and I mean I know it's legit because I got hooked up from a homie that works at Nike,
yeah.
and he's like, yeah, we basically had these fucking Jordan hoodies left over blanks, so they started printing different graphics on them and
Mhm.
selling them on the internal Nike market. Like they have a little shopping place for internal employees.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to grab you one? I'm like, fuck yeah. So he got me the Soul Food, he got me the Fly Nike and the Hike Nike. Got
Oh
one of each
shit.
for super cheap. I think they were like $20 a piece.
Yeah, that's it's insane. The employee hookups at the employee store.
Yeah.
There's like I remember I was watching like some YouTuber. It might have been like he got invited to the Nike employee store, and like he just went ham and just bought a bunch of like essentials, and like they're just good prices because I think they got like 30% off in there.
For it used to be
40.
50. It used to be half off, man. I loved going to the employee store. But I can only go there like once a year because you just drop way too much money there.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty
but I mean, I
insane.
try to get like my wife outfitted, get me outfitted, get the kids outfitted,
Hmm.
and a lot of times when I go, it's like back to school season.
Yeah.
So when they went from 50% off to 40% off, I was like, God damn, I don't feel like I'm getting as good of a deal.
Hmm.
But it's still smoking, and there's still a ton of stuff in there.
Are you putting your kids into vintage like clothes? Like, are you dressing
Um,
them or like
I have
whatever
with
they
my
want?
son. I For the longest time, I was, dude, I'm gonna pull this shoe out that's been outside for probably a year. I used to
Oh,
get my son a pair of 1994 Bred ones, and he's
yeah.
had like two or three pairs of them, and
Uh huh.
he smoked those things. I mean, just played hard in them. They looked awesome. Hold
A
on.
straight heel drag.
Oh, dude, like these have been sitting outside.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh. They're
trashed. Right?
cooked.
They're cooked. The heel drag is there,
Hmm.
but he played hard in them, and when I say like those older shoes are tanks, man, they
Oh
are.
yeah.
That was part of the reason I was like, okay, so I'm dropping 200-300 bucks on
Yeah.
him getting this pair of shoes, but he's gonna freaking wear them forever, and they're gonna hold up better than anything from today.
Yeah.
Um, God, and I think he probably started skateboarding in some.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I try to get my son more into it. My daughter's more prissy, so
Hmm.
she doesn't get into that side of things. She just thinks it's dad being weird.
That's cool though, like that, you're putting your kids onto this. I always tell my friends too, like, yo, when I have kids, I'm gonna leave all this stuff to them, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell them you can either keep it or you could just use it and sell it, like, or whatever, like,
yeah, do something with it.
yeah. Um, because I mean, it's pretty crazy, like just collecting, and then you find out, like, oh, what the hell, like my collection might be worth this much now, but it's been a whole process of trying to get all this stuff, you know.
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
putting in the hours, looking for stuff, selling stuff.
Just the research and
Mm-hmm.
building that community. Like I said, I lean to certain people. Tanner's one of my guys, my go-to guys that I lean for information. The guy is
Mm-hmm.
smarter than hell, and
Mm-hmm.
and I could say, hey, I haven't seen this symbol. He's like, well, it was the symbol used at this time frame. This was the thought process behind it. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, Tanner.
What? Mm-hmm. I think one of the craziest things that happened this week, I found a pair of Bread 11s, dead
Yeah,
stock, with like the box. I could bring it. You want me to bring it?
I saw your video. It was the gray box with the black lid, right?
Yeah. I got like more info on it, and the person that gave me the info was actually like a guy that he works at Complex, and he was on one of those like recent like sneaker battle videos.
Yeah,
Um, he's like, and he was battling some like basketball player, but he was just pulling out a bunch of OG like shoes. I forgot what his name is. I have to look it up right now, but
yeah,
he was giving me more info on that type of like box and all that, and I've seen videos online where someone had like all three of the 11s. They had the Columbias, the Concords, and the Breads, and they all had that box.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So.
my one of my earliest Concords that I had, they still had an icy blue sole.
Wow.
Had that same box.
Hmm.
Got a little info on that icy sole. Apparently, it was really bad for the people that were making it, so they discontinued that process. But they've stayed icy for 20, 30 years, man. It was crazy.
That's fucked
But
up.
it was pretty nasty
Yeah.
chemicals, so they discontinued it.
Yeah. But yeah, that was probably one of the coolest scoops I've had, and it's funny too. Like I bought that with like my graduation money.
Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
just like, and it was funny too because like I woke up and it on my phone I'm actually banned on like OfferUp. I don't know why I'm
Oh,
banned.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm banned. And like I was like, "Hey mom, give me your phone." So I grabbed her phone and like was messaging this guy like on her account, and then I linked up with him, and he was telling me a story that his mom actually got him like in a pair of them like when they came out, and I think he was like in eighth or ninth grade, and his mom gave him a pair, and then he saved up for three more pairs, and
Wow.
he was sitting on three pairs for the last 20 something years,
Jesus.
and he was sitting, and he said the other pairs had the brown box, so
Oh, okay.
the only one that had that Jordan 10 box was the one that he sold me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a pretty cool experience, like, and just getting that. I'm pretty sure, like I was talking about it, maybe he went to like the outlet or something and bought them.
Oh, yeah, because that's happened too. I mean, we see
Yeah.
that once in a while with some outlet releases.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, the younger people, and I know I'm young too, but I learned it through like just research and stuff, that Jordans weren't like selling out back then. I mean, they were popular, but like a lot of them would go like on sale. Like,
Yeah, well, and even the selling strategy was different then. Like Nike has perfected this marketing and drawing demand by limiting quantity,
yep.
right? So yeah, they're having a fucking release every week, multiple times a week, and people are still thirsting for it. Like they know what they're doing. They know
Yeah.
that the demand is there. Back in the day, it's like shit. You can go to the mall and pick up a pair of Jordans just off the shelf. They kept them stocked up because they knew they would sell. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, hey, pick your colorway, boom. Like first Jordans I even put my eyes on were some Flu Game 12s.
Oh yeah.
My brother had gotten them when he first got a job, and I was oogling over those things like, damn, but he was able to go into the store and just pick them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And any Jordan I wanted or Penny or whatever, they were there.
Yeah. That's pretty insane too, because like I'm pretty sure you've seen like people have shoes and then they has like a sales tag on it, or has like a sales sticker on the box and it tells you the sales price. Like
Yeah.
I've seen OG 85s that have like a sales sticker, and it's like
Oh yeah. They get the little sticker gun and mark
yeah,
it down.
it's like forty four
But
ninety
it's
nine.
it's wild how many of those pairs they made, and I mean Nike made a freaking killing, right? They
Oh
kind of
yeah.
gambled on Jordan if you watch The Last
Oh,
Dance or
oh
even
yeah,
read
they
on the
did.
history.
I've watched all those documentaries, even like the one on Netflix about just like the Jordan one, and like have you seen that one? It's about like
I may have it. It's been a while.
I think it's called the band one or something
Yeah,
band.
yeah.
Yeah, they just talk about like how Nike like kind of took like a leap of faith, because all these players weren't getting deals like that. Like
Yeah.
they were just getting like a Converse deal that was super basic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it pretty much changed the way like sneakers have evolved and stuff.
Yeah, big time. I mean, and if you grew up in that era, it's like there was the Reebok, there was Fila, there was Nike, and it's Nike had an edge on those, but it wasn't like a far forward edge, right? It was pretty competitive,
Mm-hmm.
and to see like, well, shit, Reebok is sponsoring UFC now. They're not getting into the market that Nike is, and they just completely obliterated their competition.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw the resurgence of Boost and Adidas kind of you know putting Nike on their heels, but that kind of came and went. Is pretty wild.
You know what? This is the guy I was talking about earlier. The guy that was helping me out with the shoes to identify him. This is
Hmm.
his name's Kevin. Kevin my level, but he just
Yeah,
posts like a bunch of like vintage like shoes and
yeah,
stuff.
that's sick.
Yeah, I mean
I think I
that's him.
follow him.
He even
Probably
has
should.
like um one of those like marketing brochure things.
Yeah, if you get a hold of those, those are gold, man. They give so much information as far as
Hmm.
the Nike product for the times. But finding anything 85 and older is super hard.
Hmm. Yeah, I was pretty mind blown when he was already following me. Like just the connections, like my Instagram just builds and like other people's Instagrams build. Like, cause you probably feel it too. Like, oh, what the hell? Like this guy follows me. Like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel like there's people that follow me that I don't feel worthy of. Like who was it? Sean Witherspoon follows me. It's
See.
freaking like what does he see? I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Um, just just thinking about that, and then that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think do we have anything else to talk about? We talked about a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of stuff. I think I might hit the Lost Republic bottle again. No, I'm just kidding. Last night was a long night for me, man.
Was
I
it?
Yeah, I woke up. Woo, I was
Woke up late.
yeah, I was I was pretty much chugging Gatorades all morning.
You got it, man.
But yeah, man. Well, I just want to thank you for being on this. Like, I really appreciate it, man. Like, just slowly growing this and trying to connect with more people. Because I mean, now if I'm ever in Oregon, I could just be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like, you
Yeah,
know,
bro, hit me up.
yeah.
You got a
Like,
pad to crash at.
I always think about that. I'm like, damn, I kind of like met that guy kind of in some way,
Yeah.
and like, that's
It's
pretty
different when
cool.
you're typing back and forth right through messages or DMs, and it's different than say talking to that person up front,
Oh
and
yeah,
getting the facial interactions like, man, that guy seems like an asshole, or maybe he's not, right?
yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm always down to like just like meet people, bro. Like, and I'm always like about communicating, bro. It's all about communication at the end of the day in this world because without communication, the Nike community, like we wouldn't really, like we'd be kind of separated, you know?
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah, or spread out.
hmm so yeah, man, just want to say thank you. And I think this is going to conclude the podcast. We probably had about like an hour worth of stuff right here. So, I mean, that's pretty decent, man. Like, and I hope your collection just keeps building because it's freaking
Trying,
insane.
man.
It's freaking insane, bro. Like, like I don't even have a bin worth of Nike tees yet. Like,
I,
it's
I have a
always
few.
funny. Yeah, it's always funny when like I see the people like, cause like Camille has like bins of like Nike tees, or like
Yeah.
you,
That's
or
where I
like,
got my idea was from Camille. I hit him up. I'm like, dude, give me the size of the bag, and it's the perfect size. If the couple times I've either traded or sold something, like it goes in a envelope, off it goes, and it's easy. So yeah, Camille knows his stuff.
oh yeah. I mean, that's one of the like we've talked about that on the like when he was on the podcast, like about the bags and stuff.
Yeah,
I was actually one of those people that asked them like, "Where'd you get those bags at?"
yeah. I
Like,
went I went ahead and bought like 500 of them.
gee. But yeah, well, this is going to conclude the podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. Go ahead and give Manny Rocks a follow on IG because you will not regret it because you will see things that will break your neck and and just pretty much astonish you because I've never seen a lot of the t-shirts that you're showing and it's very historic. Like it's a historic thing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead and show Manny Rocks some love. He's right here. Manny Rocks. You can go follow him. He's a vintage sneakers photographer, like it says in his bio. And yeah, he has insane tees. So show him some love. And I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Like it's gonna keep going. I have two people lined up next. It's gonna be an episode with two people together because they did something together that was pretty good in the community. So and they're actually from Oregon too. So
Oh,
many,
nice. Can't
yeah,
wait.
so many Oregon people. So hopefully that falls through. And I just want to say thank you, Manny.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
thank you.
hmm
Appreciate it. Take care, Felipe.
yeah, yeah. Keep in touch, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Peace.